The northern and westernmost portions of Cuyahoga Falls deserve more attention and support from city government. That's why voters here need to send a strong voice to City Hall in Warren Capps. This video presents a little of the Warren Capps story, in the words of people who know him, and also from Warren Capps himself. In it, we see many indications that Capps will be a strong leader, be transparent, collaborate with everyone at City Hall to improve the lives of Cuyahoga Falls residents, and, most importantly, to represent you, the residents of Ward 8, with excellence. Two of the people who know Capps best are his son Aaron and one of Aaron's best friends, Johnny Wolosinchek. Hear them talk about what they learned, about leadership, and about the value of experience from Warren Capps.
I think that a knack that my dad has is that he has the ability to potentially make you feel a little uncomfortable at first when he's identifying strengths and weaknesses, and he may ruffle your feathers a little bit. But, when the smoke clears and you kind of see the vision that he may have had for you, you realize it's like an aha moment, the light bulb went off. Like, that's why he was pushing me. So even though it may feel uncomfortable at first, you're definitely very thankful at the end of the day. So my dad has always instilled in us and talked about, proper preparation, the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And I think that what goes hand in hand with that is always having a keen ability to think 10 steps ahead. And Dad likes to call it around the corner, on the other side of the house to the backyard. He's got a knack for being able to plan for the worst and hope for the best. And his ability to see through the future is unmatched.
Yeah, I think attention to detail kind of plays a big role for Warren. One example that I can think of, we've been on numerous construction sites together, and while we're there to do, maybe replace a roof, one thing that Warren always does is he talks about going above and beyond for his customers, and it's just he likes to call it the wow factor. So like I said, while we may be there to do one thing, if it's an outside job, he'll grab, like a tree trimmer or like a bush trimmer, and we'll go around and make sure that we try to leave the job site cleaner or looking better than it was when we got there. So I think that's a big key for the amount of success that he's had and the relationships that he's been able to develop.
Thanks, Aaron and Johnny. Next, Nate Eade talks about how transparency and openness are integral parts of Warren Capps' character. Nate also discusses Capps' desire to achieve win-win situations for all involved.
Transparency. When it comes to Warren Capps, if anybody have met him, he is a straight shooter. And I believe in city government especially. He believes, especially the residents of Ward 8, need to know what's going on. They need to know what type of legislation City Council is talking about, how it's going to affect them. A lot of people in Ward 8 believe that they are the forgotten ward because they just don't get the general funds that should be put towards them, and they're just overlooked. It's an area where he needs to address for people to get involved. He wants people to know what's going on in this ward and the city of Cuyahoga Falls in general. And I think his passion and energy is going to let people have the openness of what's going on in their government, whether it's he establishes a social media component or maybe a Falls News press of letting the residents know exactly what's going on. He wants to let the people know that he is there for them, he's fighting, and all elements of whether it's taxes, utilities, stormwater issues, he wants to bring that open and let everybody know what's going on, unlike our current councilman. I believe in Cuyahoga Falls right now, there's this sort of projection that certain contractors, certain officials in government are doing things behind closed doors. And even if that's not the actual fact itself, that's the perception. There's no ability for the residents' concerns to be addressed by this current administration because they just fall flat. And I believe that's where Warren's ability and experience and leadership through his time as a police officer, as a Marine, as a construction guy and raw construction, the way he has just dealt with so many people, improving their situations, their lifestyles, their homes, he is just able to address them at City Hall. And I think that he is just going to be a great asset, not only to this ward, but also to the city of Cuyahoga Falls, because I believe he's going to influence all the other council people to get on board with just letting the people know what's going on, what are the issues, and how can we fix them.
Thanks, Nate. Finally, let's hear from Warren Capps himself about why he's running for City Council, how he plans to improve City Hall's responsiveness to Ward 8's needs, and why he's the best candidate to represent this area of Cuyahoga Falls. What are the most important issues facing Ward 8?
It's a type of representation that I don't believe has existed here in Northampton for quite a while, for several different cycles or terms. And one of them is the infrastructure, is the type of strong presence and leadership proactively that hasn't been seen on City Council in quite a while. And I understand that, having lived here in the city for a long time, I understand what are, in my travels, are important to Northamptonites and things prior to the merger agreement. So those are things that I'll absolutely advocate for at City Hall.
What would you do better as a City Council representative?
Well, one of the biggest things that I would do better at is obviously return phone calls. I would absolutely tell you what I'm going to do, say what I'm going to do, and then execute it. This is something that I've had business success with, and it's something that I believe strongly in and is part of my leadership DNA, and that's something that will be, it'll be prominent again in City Hall, and it might not be something they look forward to or they're looking forward to, but it's something that's going to come.
How would city government be better with Warren Capps in council?
I think that my ability to think outside the box, I think my ability to assess a situation, I think my ability to gather the left and put it with the right, I think that my ability to be bipartisan and work with anyone that's willing to work with me for the betterment of Ward 8 and the city of Cuyahoga Falls. But one thing is for sure, is that what's been missing is someone proactively looking out for the people of Ward 8, and that's going to be happening again very soon when I'm elected to Ward 8 City Council.
You've heard and seen some of the Warren Capps story. I know this area. My father grew up here, and my grandparents have lived here, on this farm where I'm standing right now on Northampton Road, for 50 years. It deserves and needs good representation at City Hall. It needs Warren Capps.